Jaylen Brown with another 30-piece in this one.
Oops.
Also, 3 of 4 from behind the arc. Just spilling Yakapurtle on this one.
Take that with you.
Nice triple there from Jaylen Brown, who again led the way for the Celtics. And how about this? Through 24 games, he's got 13 games with at least 30 points. Only John Havlicek did it better back in the 70-71 season. Jaylen Brown, though, 6 of his last 7 with 30-plus. And again, the one game where he didn't have 30, he had a triple-double. So that's pretty good numbers right there. Eddie, I mean, we talk about it night after night, but I don't know how else to further other than say that it feels like it's almost automatic. He's so consistent, and he puts up another 30-piece against, again, a Toronto team that really tried to buckle down in the second half defensively.
Well, I want to ask both of you guys this real quick. Was that his quietest 30-piece that he had?
He's had other, because I keep worrying that we're taking it for granted. He's had other nights where I'm like, oh, my God, he got to 30. I don't know if this was his quietest, because, that first half was fairly loud. But I get what you're saying.
See, I almost thought the first half was quieter than the second half.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And he had I think he had 17 at the break, something around there.
I can subscribe to that.
Yeah, but to your point, maybe it's just because we've become so used to it.
Right, yeah, but I mean, you say the first half was quiet, but he said the second half was quiet. To me, that means it was a quiet 30-piece. Yeah, I mean, y'all explained 2 halves right there. I mean, it was a quiet 30-piece because he really wasn't like the guy. Even though he hit a lot of shots when you were like, man, okay, he got to the free throw line. He was able to knock down shots. The rebounds and assists, to me, was the loudest thing, right? The 30-piece, it was other guys that was out there scoring and doing other things to where you weren't, and except that shot right there is where he said, come here and tap this, and that one too. Take that with you. Besides that, I felt like it was kind of quiet. The 30-piece was kind of quiet, and that's no disrespect. To me, that's all the respect to say that I got 30 and it was quiet. You know what I mean? That's how I feel.
And I think that part of it might be that he had 30 on 19 field goal attempts.
Yeah.
Which is a much more efficient 30 to get right there.
A couple things, right? This was, I believe, his 9th game with 9+ free throw attempts. And so we're starting to see him get a little bit better of a whistle. He's been going at the basket all year. It finally feels like the refs are catching up and giving him a better whistle there. For me, it comes down to he played almost 39 minutes. 3rd highest minute total of the year, but 4 of his 5 top minute games have come in this stretch. And now he got that night off against Washington, but he's still been playing a ton of minutes in this whole little 6 and 9. So, to have that in the tank, to be able to do it every single night, as you pointed out, Giles, for the only non-30-point game to be the one where he didn't have it in Cleveland, but he still gets the triple-double. It's impressive the way he's brought it every single night. And if it's not the scoring, he's doing something else out there. Let's never take it for granted. As that chart at the start showed, when you're doing stuff that Havlicek and Tatum and some of the elite scorers in Celtics history are doing, shows you're doing something right.
He's also doing it without getting much rest. Now he's finally going to get that as they play 2 games over the next week and a half. So they'll get a little bit extra there. All right, meanwhile, let's hear from Joe Mazzulla back in Toronto, the coach's press conference presented by Amica Insurance, the exclusive auto, home, and life insurance partner of the Boston Celtics. Here's Joe.
What went into steadying yourselves there after they took the lead in the 4th quarter?
You said steadying ourselves? I mean, I thought we just you figure a team like that, as good as they are, that's going to happen. I mean, so it was a combination of, they picked up their pace on the offensive end. They picked up their physicality. I thought during the tough stretch we got some good looks, and then we just didn't execute. We didn't meet the physicality that segment of the game required, and then I thought we kind of just snapped out of it and got right back into it. And I think that's, a credit to the guys. You're not going to play a perfect game all the time, and we always talk about how quickly can you just get back to your best. And I thought we did that with about 8-9 minutes to go in the 4th.
Coach, Yeah, today, Gonzalez scored 5 points in 2 minutes. So offensively, it was a good game for him, but he usually struggles more offensively. Of course, he's still a rookie, but as of now, what's the next step for him to improve offensively?
Ugo?
Yeah.
No, just continue to do what he does. He makes good rim reads. He hit a catch and shoot three. I think he got a dunk either in transition off offensive rebound. Just continuing to get better at screening, spacing, having an understanding, especially for the younger guys and for some of our second unit guys, in the middle of quarters, matchups and coverages are changing so fast, and sometimes we're a possession or two behind. So, we just got to continue to get better at that.
What makes Derrick so good in the clutch?
He's got the ability to score at all three levels. The three, he had to pull up two, he can get to the rim, he can get fouled. He does a good job of recognizing matchups and coverages in real time when they're trying to change them there. So, I thought he was steady tonight for us. He was big time.
So you had 77 points in that first half. Obviously, you talked about before the game. You're switching things up a little bit, going small here and there. What's the key to kind of maintaining the flow of that when things are rolling?
I don't know that you'll get 154. To me, it's more about just continuing to execute, but just not get caught up in the result. I thought our offense it was clicking, especially when we went small. But I thought our defense, kind of 32-point quarter in the third quarter, is that's where we have to get better at. I mean, it's easy to look at the offense when we miss some shots and we have some empty possessions, but our defense has to carry us regardless of the past result on the offensive end. And they made some tough shots. Shed played really well, but we gave up some easy stuff that, regardless of how it's going on one end, we got to just hold the fort down on the other end and that make our mark there.
Even kind of during the run, they weren't getting a lot of second chances. I think they only had 4 or 5 second chance points in the game. What's kind of the key for you guys kind of to resetting your defense so quickly in this situation?
Yeah, I think it starts with individual defense. You can't give angles, you can't give 1-on-2s because you can't guard the ball. And then it starts with having layers of help behind you, protecting each other. And then I think we're doing it. The guys are being real intentional about rebounding. But we're keeping it 5-on-5 for the most part. We're showing great shifts, and then we're just having a conscious effort to rebounding, and we just got to fight to be able to do that as much as we can.
All right, let's jump into the dunk of the game. It's all about the dunk. It's all about Jordan Walsh coming in out of nowhere.
From the clouds.
The tip jam off the Sam Hauser missed three. Again, the Celtics were just dominant in that first half. That was 2 of those 77 we saw in the first half. Take a closer look at Jordan Walsh when we come back, and also the Celtics defense, the active hands, what they were able to do.
Can someone give me the Twitter account of that guy asking all the Ugo questions? He's going to get a follow.
He's the only guy that's more upset than you are that he only played 2.5 minutes. We'll be right back. Check out the latest Celtics Talk podcast for much more on tonight's game. You can find it on your favorite podcasting app or on YouTube. It is presented by 24autogroup.com. New England gets more at 24.
Giles is supposed to be on, but I might get that Ugo guy.
Seriously.
Me and him just gonna have like a vent session.
For those who missed it, he had a few questions about Ugo before the game and a couple afterwards.
I'm like, man, I agree. Joe's doing a good job this year, but what's the deal with Ugo? Like, can we get a little bit more Ugo?
Ugo did have 2.5 minutes tonight, and he did have 5 points in those 2.5 minutes, so a very efficient run for Ugo. Jordan Walsh, once again, I think we have to get into it. He had 9 points. He had 6 rebounds, 3 steals, did foul out of this game, Eddie. But we continue to see him game after game, and it's kind of weird that maybe we would consider this a down game for him compared to what we've seen recently.
I wouldn't say it was a down game. It was a different type of game. When you look at what Payton did, you look at what JB did quietly, and then you look at what Derrick White did. He did his job. The 3 steals early on in the game kind of set the tone for the team. Playing defense the way he did, getting out in transition, rebounding the basketball, and things like that. So I wouldn't say that it was a quiet game for him.
Let me just say, I'm saying he's been so good. He's been so good that for him to put up 9 points in those numbers, he somehow raised the bar so high.
Get him, Eddie.
Yeah, so look, you expect him to do that every single night.
No,
That's not going to happen.
No, I don't.
Okay, well then, damn, what do you say? You got me spinning around in my chair right now.
That's why when I was even asking the question, I said it feels weird to say it. So I shouldn't have said it at all. But the point is, he has been so good that
I get your point, Charles. I'll save you here. So we've already raised the bar of expectations on Jordan Walsh because he's been so damn good. And in the first 3.5 minutes of this game, he goes out there, 4 stocks. They got the 3 steals, a block. He's everywhere. And, obviously the one thing the referee's got to start giving him a better whistle because it feels like they're not allowing him to be appropriately physical in a game which was super physical across the board. Felt like he got a whistle for a couple ticky-tack things out there. And so that will come. Every young player, especially every young defensive-minded player. But he put an imprint on this. The putback jam was one of the best dunks of the year for the Celtics with the way he swooped in and did that. Plus 10, 9 points. He's doing what he's doing. But again, we now expect him to go out there and wreak havoc for 4 quarters. And it felt like early he really put a stamp on this game. And then the fouls took him out of it a little bit. And he's just got to learn how to play once he gets a bad whistle.
Oh, the active hands, though, the 3 steals there. Again, the Celtics had 9 steals in all.
Hold on, Eddie's coming for you again.
I do want to say something about that. It's about when you are a defensive player like that and you're trying to get your bones as being a defensive player and being a player and start to step yourself up to make the referees realize that this is how you play. You're on a really good team, not a bad team. You're on a really good team, and you could play physical, and you could play finesse defense as well, rebound, get steals without fouling. I think that's what's going to start happening for him. And because he's going to foul out games because that's the way he plays. And he should never change that. He should never change the way that he plays just because he fouls out. So to me, that's the most important thing is like, okay, moving forward, don't let this, because you fouled out, take you out of what you really are and who you are as a player.
Yeah. And again, he had 3 steals. You had Derrick White with 3 blocks. Are the Celtics developing an identity here as far as with the active hands, Chris, where they're getting their hands on everything while still rebounding the ball?
So, there's a balance, too, of course. I think what we've seen is that the Celtics also probably close to the league lead in opponent free throw percentage because of the amount of whistles they get against them. But it's by design. You're trying to force turnover. You're trying to create possessions that way. Wow, Danny. And so, they've got to be physical. This was a huge emphasis coming into the season about how are you going to mask that you've given up so much size and lost so much up in your front court. And it comes down to just being, swarming, being everywhere. The makeup of this team, you are bigger across the board. Your guards are bigger, your wings are bigger, you've got bigger wingspans now. So you might not have the 7-footer on the back line, but you have some size and some versatility with all these wings you're throwing out there. So cause a little bit of havoc, and the steals and blocks are coming from that.
Referees, what they do is they ref physicality, right? If one team is more physical than the other, they give that team that's the more physical team, more than likely they give them the breaks. They let them get away with a lot more if you're not known as a physical team. I'll take it back to this. When I played for the Phoenix Suns, we were not known as a physical team. We did not get a whistle. We did not. If we played a team that was known as a physical team, they got every single whistle against us. So we couldn't get physical with a team, even though that was the more physical team. But on the flip side, it's like, oh, y'all play finesse basketball. That's not how it's finna go down. We gonna call fouls on y'all. So I think from the very beginning, you got to establish that, hey, we're gonna be dominant on the physical side. We're gonna play as physical as we can. We're gonna match that physicality or exceed it. And then the referees will ref to that. If you don't do that, they're going to let the other team get it, especially. And I think what we're doing now, because we are starting to climb up, in the standings, that everybody's starting to pay attention a little bit different than we're getting a better whistle than we were getting game 14. That's the truth.
Yeah, and here we are at game 24 with the Celtics improving to 15-9. Speaking of the defense, let's get to the 4 Tough play of the game presented by Ford Trucks, the best-selling trucks for 48 years, built for tough. And as Eddie explained, goes up with the right, makes the block with the left.
And gets the ball on the scrum.
Yeah.
What can't Derrick do?
121-113, your final score. We're going to go inside the locker room, hear from some of the guys on this 5th straight win. That's coming your way next as we move on to Celtics, a post-game. Let's get to the steal of the game, brought to you by Stop and Shop with more than 10,000 items on sale every week. It's easy to make winning plays at Stop and Shop. It's Jaylen Brown, Payton Pritchard teaming up, take down away from Brandon Ingram, and it goes back the other way. Jaylen Brown with 2 of his 30 points. A team-high 30 points from Jaylen. Celtics get the 8-point win on the road. I mentioned earlier, Chris, can you believe this? Celtics almost went wire to wire for the 3rd straight game. When Toronto took the lead in the 4th quarter, that was the first time the Celtics had been trailing since the second quarter against the New York Knicks on Tuesday.
Which is, I mean, it's just crazy. I just think we've come to expect that when the Celtics do have a big lead, it sometimes get interesting. Well, came to fruition today, but it shows you, no lead is safe in the NBA. It's and to appreciate the times you are kind of able to set it on cruise control. Rarely.
Well, and they also are able to survive this stretch here, which was 6 games in 9 nights. That's what it was?
Accurate.
Now the schedule lightens a little bit.
Just a bit.
9 of the next 11 nights will not have a Celtics game in them, but one of those will be Thursday against the Milwaukee Bucks. First time get a look at them this season. Obviously not going to have Giannis out there. It's a team that's struggling. They're dealing with that situation on its own, what their future is, but your thoughts on the Celtics taking on Milwaukee in Milwaukee?
Well, first off, it'll be good for the Celtics. They're going to take the next 2 days off, which, for players, coaches, everybody, a chance to sort of take a breath, resume on Wednesday, fly to Milwaukee, and get back at it. I do think the part of it, it's always a balance, right? It's like the NFL in the bye week. You're playing good. You almost want to be able to bottle up that momentum, but I do think this start of the season has been such a grind. Not only the 6-9 and 5-7, but second 5-7 of the season. The Celtics have been playing pretty relentlessly. I think there's a good chance to just downshift, take inventory, especially this little stretch where you're 10-2. What can you take from it? And then shift your focus to the Bucks. And even without Giannis, there's still some pieces there that will give them trouble. They've got a lot of size. Miles Turner, the Celtics are going to have to be able to bring it and kind of kick it back up after ramping it down. And that's sometimes tough. So very interested to see how they navigate this. I want to go back last year and look, did the break help them? Did it hurt them? They've got to figure out a way to keep everybody laser focused with the way that they're playing right now.
Because they're playing so well at the moment. So you almost don't even want it. But
Giles needs some breaks here, people.
Thanks for putting up with me. Celtics back in action Thursday against the Bucks. Our coverage starts at 7 with Celtics pregame live presented by TD Bank. Stay with us after the game for highlights and player and coach reaction on Celtics postgame live presented by your New England Ford dealers. Remember, you can stream all of our coverage on the NBC Sports app and NBCSportsBoston.com. The Celtics live stream is brought to you by your New England Cadillac dealers, the official luxury vehicle of the Boston Celtics.
Good job, Giles. You've been grinding.
Hey, how can you not? This team's playing the way they're playing. They've won 5 in a row, 10 of 12, 3rd place in the Eastern Conference. They can even go up by 23 in this game.
I'm going to need the NBA to add some games.
And then just steal it back from the Toronto Raptors. I don't know if we need to add games. I think they're fine where they're at. Which is,
you're probably right.
Now, all the way up to 3rd in the Eastern Conference. All right, Forsberg, Giles, have a good night.